Hi guys, this is Nikki, you also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome 10X Market Update for the Philippines. Today is November 11/11. It's Singles Day, and actually that is the so-called Christmas Day for all the retailers out there, the e-tailers out there. So let's discuss today's market. Did you feel like it was Christmas? I surely did. Today it felt like Christmas. Christmas was early, even for the pandemic, because the market has rallied. Despite the index at negative 11 points, you do see a lot of winners today. Index is at 7,024, and we are seeing a lot of names continuing higher. Let's take a look at your stats today. So let's go to your top traded. Okay. Before we do that, let's go first to your index. So we are seeing that your market value yesterday was as high as 12 billion. Today we see it at 14 billion, another 2 billion pesos of foreign buying coming into the market. And for those of you who have been watching our channel for quite a while now, I'm pretty sure you're sitting at about 30-40% gains, or at least 15% gains. Kudos to you, and I think that you have the perfect place to either just hold to your winners or sell half. So we are seeing that today's gainers, actually a while ago, BPI even rose as high as 9%. Actually, it traded as high as 92. So it was an explosive move, even as high as 92. A lot of some people took profits on that move. I tried to sell at about 87, wasn't able to sell at 89, was trying to sell, then quickly it fell. As you could see, BPI actually on a single day, it was a dynamite chart, went up to 92 and then collided back down for a profit taking day. Obviously, the market felt that the exhausted move for BPI was too good to be true. The 9% move of BPI, and so a lot of people took profits on that BPI move today. Let's take a look on your index. Today's move actually transpired wherein GT Cap finally broke that 520 peso level, trading as high as 570. So GT Cap is 5% up. Mega World traded as high as 3.6. Your Metro Bank rallied to 44, and your BPI was it went 92 and then fell back down. Your BPI is at 150, so I'm pretty sure some of you are probably trying to sell. AGI actually hit as high as 8.9, and we were opining for quite a while now that even at 7, 8 pesos, that it will continue to go higher. Today is a confirmation that AGI did continue to go higher, even if the index was technically at 7,000. And of course, this is one of our happy days. Shakey's Pizza today up 8%, 844. Take note that just a few days ago, you guys were asking me, Nikki, what else can I buy if I'm a bit late? I did say that Shakey's Pizza, even as high as 730, that you could still buy in. And today, 844, as you could see, 844 versus 730 is a strong move, especially for those people who really bought these Popoy Basha stocks. For the Filipinos out there who know who is Popoy and Basha, it's from the movie One More Chance, wherein Popoy told Basha, if you love me at my worst, then you can have me at my best, but ever or something like that. And we were saying that if you don't love the casinos and the airlines and the restaurants at their worst, you cannot have them at their best. And right now, we are seeing that these sectors are really performing as the pandemic reopening place that we have been harping on and on about. Today, actually, we also saw the Macro Asias and Cebu Pacific actually rising very strongly. Macro Asia rose to near 7 today, nearing 7,697. And of course, your Cebu Pacific rallied still at about 44, 45. Despite Cebu Pacific not yet hitting that 50 peso mark, we do think that Cebu Pacific will be bought 44, even at current levels, because this was trading at about 70, 80 pesos about a few months ago, maybe a year ago. So technically speaking, I do think that airlines still have a leeway to go higher, even if your index is at 7,000. Okay, so let's take a look, of course, that today, as a speculative move, we have been harping that we don't know and we don't understand what PHR is trying to do, except that we did say that, okay, it's a casino play. Well, we do like Bloomberry, we do like PLC, the Solera and City of Dreams. However, Dennis Oy is somebody who likes to actually enter the casino arena through the PH Resorts. PH Resorts is opening a casino probably 2022. That will be about 2 years from now. Raised money through a follow-on offering at about 1.68. So that follow-on offering made the people who had it at about 1.68 profitable. And as you could see, you can see that the chart is quite volatile, but today was a clear breakout move for PHR. At about 2.4 to 2.5, I think a lot of momentum entered this name. And the closing price of 2.58 tells us that indeed there was a strong demand for PH Resorts. Very strong move here. As you could see, the 240 to 250 was where the volumes have been kicking in around 11:30 a.m. in the Philippine time. And indeed, this is a clear move that it could be a potential reopening play, although it is a little bit speculative because, as you well know, it is about 2 years from now before they can probably open up their casinos. Similarly, we did say that you had to buy your Philinvest land before November 11. So the last day was yesterday, November 10. Indeed, if you were buying since we were announcing that at about 97 cents, you were able to get your free 3 centavo dividend and also the 7 cent move, which is a 104. So this one is a good play because you've got the stable 6% dividends every year as long as your cost is 97. Hold on to it for about a year or 2 years, and maybe you could see it trading at about 140, 130, 150, and you will be able to see yourself winning not just a good return on your stock from a dividend perspective, but actually a strong move even on a capital appreciation basis. Now, actually, all of our dreams came true. We said that we wanted to see that the big names like Ayala Land and the SM Prime to really travel higher, and that is what we saw in the market. So even on the index performance, the index went from about something like 5.5 to about 7,000. Actually, the low was about 4,000, right? So let's take a look. I'll give you a preview that in the last few days, we here believe that you have to be taking profits. So although that there still will remain some opportunities on the upside, it will be not, you have to be very selective already, just like what we did before. Like we said, ASEN and nickel, right? So ASEN is already up 100%. ASEN, we were here at about 220. So at 440, that is an official 100% move. There might be some profit taking on the way here. So it will depend on how the market pundits will do it, but I think that there will be some profit taking there. Similarly, for Nicolasia, let me just explain that if you've been watching the show, we've been opining that 180 was going to travel to 420. It actually exceeded our first target of 420, rallied to 440. Take note though that here at about 440 to 5 is actually a resistance area for your Nicolasia. So just be careful here for those who are still holding your Nicolasia. Although I don't see the trend reversing anytime soon, I do think that there will be resistances on the way up, and there might be higher low supports here at about 390 or even at 350. So I don't see it collapsing, but I do think that there will be profit taking. So the advice here is to take profits on the way up and let it simmer whether it goes down or up. Actually, today your Dito Telecom, of course, rallied to 7. However, we did say that at 7, guys, there will still be a resistance, and that is what we saw today. Dito at 7 got a resistance, had a lot of selling pressure at 7, and fell down to 630. We do see that there was that strong resistance at 7, and it did still stay at 7. And that is something that you would notice that when Dito went up, same for Chelsea. This is a double top move for your Chelsea at about 7, also fell down to 6. So it was nearing 7. I think it was about 690. Yeah, it did reach 7. So 7 is a resistance for both your Chelsea and Dito Telecom. So yeah. Of course, the reopening themes continue to go stronger. And but as you know, we did say that 200 to 220 or 230, you will see some profit-taking moves. And Jollibee today actually showed that profit-taking move at that 200 level. We do see that this might consolidate into a flag, and then we need some catalyst further to actually see it Jollibee hitting 210 or 220. So it might take some time, maybe a week, maybe I don't know, but you need more. You need more results to actually sustain this move. You have these resistances at 212. You have this resistance at 200. So just be a bit aware. However, the trend will not reverse anytime soon. Please be aware that this one is a continuous uptrend. So any dips of Jollibee will continue to remain a buy. If it goes down 190 peso, 188 peso, I do think that there will remain to be buyers. Even as you can see very little resist, even as you could see some resistances on the way. And of course, with Jollibee, the strength, we did say that BNL was going to benefit. Indeed, BNL traded as high as 7. We were saying that even at 6, that it was going to break out, and that breakout at 6 continues. Now it's a trading at 7. Please do note that there will be some resistances on the way for DNL, even if it is in a an uptrend, right? So the breakouts at about 6 is very strong, 6 and 650. However, do note that there will be resistances here at about 8 and about 750. How do you buy DNL if you don't have it? Try to position if you can enter below 7. Try to see if you can see. Let's see if you have an entry point at about 650 or 680. We'll see. So, given the fact that the index is actually trading at 7,000, how do you see the next higher low for this move? Your next higher low will be this resistance before that will act as support. This one. The 6,600 level will be your support. For the next move, can it go to 7,500? That would be the highest high in my view. So I do think that you need to sell at 7,000 all the way to 7,500, but selectively. So you don't need to sell everything. However, you need to be picky on what to sell. So your PSEI rallied because your Ayala Corps rallied. However, here at about 870, do note that even as high as 835, you can start trimming. So if you sold from 835 to 900, this is a selling zone. Your SM is also in a selling zone now. I do think that SM here at about 1,100 all the way to 1,000 will continue to be met with selling pressure. So selling zone here. However, your SM and AC is very strong. Your JGS has some pressure at about 80 pesos. Not yet here at 80 pesos, but at 70, 71, still not the major resistance. However, yeah, do note that the support was at about 62, and we were opining that a few days ago, if you just backtrack it. And yeah, at these levels of about 75 to 78, this is a potential resistance zone. So be careful. Do not chase if you don't have it. While the bullishness of the market coming from foreigners are exaggerating, do take note that try to sell on the way up, and do not chase if you don't have it. What else? Okay, so of course, the pandemic reopening has generated a rotation move away from your supermarkets, and I think that this Robinson's Retail here at about 64 might actually be an opportunity for those who don't have a supermarket. So Robinson's Retail has been benefiting on this COVID pandemic because it has those South Star drugstores and the generics pharmacy. So do note that here at about 64 all the way to 62 or even at 58, we do think that the downside is small at about 10% and the upside will continue to be at 70. Even if it is just in the neutral zone, try to enter 64 below. Similarly, if you really want reopening play, we have been opining that SSI has that 100% move in my view. So in my view, instead of chasing something like a Jollibee at 199, can actually opine to actually try to haggle for a buy here at about 150 peso, 1 peso 50 cents for a move at about 50 cents higher to about 2 pesos to 220. As we said, even as early as 120 below, we were saying that SSI had the Shake Shack Philippines. So, and the opening of the market, the reopening will actually benefit your malls, your retailers. SSI is going to benefit on that front. So take note that as of 2019, it was trading as high as 280. This is still a 40%, a 50% drop from that area. And that is actually presenting SSI as an alpha bet. An alpha meaning it is an outlier bet. It doesn't have to be, the index doesn't have to be up for SSI to be up. And that's what makes it powerful. Okay. So as you could see, if your target is about 220 to 240, this is still a 40% discount from there. That means that you have a substantial upside based on the movement. The risk reward is in your favor, even at 1.50, or even today, if you're buying this flag at 159, this will still continue higher. PNB is also in a flag. Let me just remind you that we said that this was a magnitude move, then a consolidation flag, a magnitude move, a consolidation flag. I do think that the move next is about 30 to 32, then a flag, then consolidation, back to 36. Of course, that is what's happening, of course, with your macro Asia as well. All your reopening themes have the same look. Breakout, consolidate, then this is your real resistance for macro Asia. Very strong resistance here at about 9 to 10. So still be aware that there will be those resistances as you go higher. I think like the lack of resistance will be if you're gonna ask me for my vote is that SSI has the least resistances, given that the resistance is a vacuum move. You have a vacuum move here at 2 pesos. It fell down to 1. So you had a 50% collide. I think that there will be resistances at 2. But yun, 150 to 2 is still 20% higher. What else can we say? Okay, so Seb, I do think that the vacuum move is still on the way for your Seb. Your vacuum move is still here at about 54. So I do think that 44 can still rally to 54. If you don't have a reopening idea, I still would advise SSI and Seb would be a great reopening idea for you. Shakey's Pizza, this one has rallied already, so there might be some resistances here at about 950. I don't think that there is bang for the buck chasing unless you really, really, how should I say this? Unless you really like the company. So yeah. Okay, so GT cap today is 560. Good move. We were harping on that GT cap was a reopening play. Given that GT cap has your Metro Bank and GT cap also has your Toyotas, right? So the cars on the road is actually an exemplification that indeed we were saying that even if we believe that 15 years from now that electric vehicles will be a mainstream thing, that is still 15 years from now. And chances are Toyota electric vehicles will also come into the country, let's say 10 years from now, which doesn't render GT Cap's business totally blank. So in that view, it is a reopening play. You've got that resistance here at about your prior resistance of 520 has been already broken today. So I think that there will be rebuying opportunity. If there will be a pullback, usually that resistance at 525 will actually be an opportunity to re-enter. So try to see if that 500 peso mark will be a re-entry area. For, of course, the total resistance will be at 730. Do note that there will be resistances on the way up, 20% or 50% higher for your GT caps. Your Mega World is today at 360. I do think there is a resistance here at about 4 pesos. So on the way up, do trim on the way up. Similarly, your Ayala Land and SM Prime are in the selling zones. So you're at 38, even as it can go 42. Do take advantage of these rallies. Take advantage to sell a portion of your profits and lock it in. Put it in some cash position, a well-deserved cash position. Okay, let me now check your commentaries. Okay, hi Nikki, what are your thoughts on THR? I think that THR was a speculative move on the casinos, so I would say that the bulls are ahead for the move. Thank you for your daily insights. I was just starting investing last week. Thank you. Thoughts on your portfolio? I am 50% Phil Invest, 25% Metro Bank, 25% Maxis. Well, you are very much overweight on your fly. I tell you that we typically will not advise a 50% overweight concentration on Phil Invest, even if we like it. I think that your overweight could actually be well, it really depends, guys, because I cannot speak for everyone's behalf. However, I like to emphasize that hopefully you can just maximum 15% on any weighting position. But since you already did 50, 25, 25, that means that you only have 3 companies. Probably, you can probably try to take profits on fly if it rallies 1.1, 1.2, put it into cash. Your Metro Bank actually has resistances on 48, so medyo ingat lang. I don't think banks are one of the best places to be in. Although yes, it will benefit on the reopening play. I'm not sure what your cost on Maxis. However, Maxis will follow suit with your Jollibees and pizzas. It's actually the weakest among the 3 restaurants. And in my view, this is just catching up. However, Maxis at about 6 pesos will be bought. So I don't know your cost. Maybe your cost 1 week ago was about 6 pesos, so you're up at about 15% today at 680. I do know that you can take profit if if you are 25% overweight on your Maxis, you can trim it. So example, since you're overweight, your Metro Banks, your Fly and your Maxis, try to take advantage of today's rally, even until tomorrow, to sell some position and put it into profits. Lock it in. I guess like lock in half. So meaning if you're 100% exposure today, with 50% cash so that we can see what opportunities will come to us next few days. Ano po opinion niya sa ASEN? I think that ASEN at about 440 is ripe for some profit taking. So if you're taking profits on ASEN at 440, I think that is possible. Is Apex upside sustainable? Thanks in advance. I think that Apex has resistance at about 2 pesos. Today's move, it's gonna be a bit slower, 220, 240. It has been crawling, right? But the apex move is really related, in my view, to your USD, your gold. So the debasement of the dollar. Pero ang gulo eh, 1960, then bagsak 1880. So medyo mahirap to decipher. So I think like apex, it's not clear to me for an outperformance. So medyo baka you might want to sell on the way up. Okay, Maxis and Bloomberry. So Maxis, we said at 6 pesos. Today, 680. That's your first resistance. But I think dips near 6 would be bought. Bloomberry near 8 would have a buyer. What do you think of FNI? FNI and Nicolasia moved in tandem. So I think like FNI was a beneficiary of that nickel trend. However, even as Nicolasia seems to be capping upside at about 480 to 5, I do see that FNI take note of the resistances as it goes higher. It's possible that you've got a top here at about 180. So if you're selling at 155 and you don't want to wait anymore at 180, you can also sell. However, downside expectation for these nickel names won't be exaggerated. Like I think there will always be a buyer 10% downside. Is MY the good buy? I think like it's a delayed reopening play, but so even at current level of 8, I'm not willing to chase. We were saying that MY did about 750 below. It seemed okay. It was neutral, diba? But so medyo neutral to eh. I'm not too sure. That is a very strong move. Yes, volume wise. Maybe people are hoping that it goes to 10 or 11. But chart wise, it looks good. However, I don't know much. I just know that MY is doing a preferred share offering. So they are raising some money through convertible preferreds yata. So there will be some resistances on the way up. What could be the effect of MSCI? Deletion of Robinson's Land and addition of ASEN. Sometimes the MSCI rebalancing, no effect talaga yan. If the stocks are volatile because of that, you can take advantage to sell it. You can sell ASEN because of that good news. And then similarly, Robinson's Land's business is the same. However, it's just also a weaker property. Ayala Land and SM Prime usually is the top 2. Robinsons and Mega World usually is the top 3 and 4. It will still be a beneficiary. You can buy it through reopening play. Robinsons at about 15 would have some buyer in my view. And then, of course, resistance is 16, 17, 18. What is wrong with BDO? Financials, in my view, are laggards. However, BDO also rallied to about 97, right? So you might say that BDO is being seen as a bit of expensive market. The market likes bargains, eh? And because BDO is not something that people see as a bargain, I think really the bargain hunting of the market has been on your reopening place. And that reopening isn't they don't want banks in general. I mean, I don't think that banks are the reopening place. In my view, it's the restaurants, the airlines, the casinos. Probably reopening place targets are some conglomerates like PMC or even GT Cap. So this one I don't think is the bet. DMC actually rallied, as you know, but this was a contrarian bet on our front. We were saying, should we buy DMC at 4 plus levels? And we bought here at about 430, 440. Now it's trading at 523. However, do note that DMCI will have this problem, no? Always have a problem at about resistance. There will be these supports, however, here at about 480. So let's see if we can make an entry. If you don't have DMCI, try to take advantage if there will be drops on the MCI below 5 again. Yeah, but yun. So the MCI, we're banking on the diversified conglomerate to actually to actually recover from the pandemic, even as the coal prices and the semi-raras is actually an offset, diba? They have a business that is declining. So the question on isn't asset overvalued right now, I answered that. Yeah, at 440, you might say that at 100%, you want to sell up. Yes, you can, but you cannot predict. It can even go to $5. Pwede po ba pa-check ng Vita? Vita doesn't register in any of our signals, so I have no idea on Vita. Um, so I think like there's no activity on Vita, so I can't say much. So really, not no no nothing. So it's apathy. You know, the worst thing that that the stock can do is actually to be apathetic to you. Just like any relationship, if somebody doesn't hate you or doesn't love you, the best way to really ignore you is apathy, and that is what Vita is: apathy stock. So wala, nothing. Hi, any thoughts on dito? Answered already. 7 seems to be a resistance. Asen, is it also a sell now? You may take profit, but it doesn't go down to 240 anyway. So I don't think like Asen might go down to $3. So like even if you sell it for 40, I don't think that you have the chance to buy it back lower level. So I don't know. It's very hard. If you sell, then you have to admit to yourself that you might never ever enter back. What about tech? I don't like semiconductors of the Philippines in general. So the answer to me is I don't really care. I like semiconductors like Nvidia and Qualcomm, which is abroad, maybe AMT, but not really at current levels. I'll wait. Is Megawide a buy for you? Not something that I'll play for a reopening. Is that the sell signal? I think like people usually would I'm not sure. Like it could break $8. So there might be a wave to go 9 or 10. But that would be technical. I don't know much about it. When is the skate? I don't have an IPO. Thank you. Tech. I don't know why you guys like tech. Why do you like tech ba? Let me see the chart na. I don't even watch this chart eh. What is happening ba to this chart? Umangat. Kaya nyo gusto. Breakout kasi ng 6. Well, technically, yeah, you do have that breakout of that 599, and you do have this resistance at 7 and 8, no? So, if you're trading this from a pure technical perspective, I guess that you have your bulls here at about 6. And so, if you bought today or a few days ago, even today, 640, then I guess you're selling pressure it at 7 and 8. So, yeah, it's more of a sell trading move, in my view. It's a trader's move. What's a good price to go into AGI and MPI? Well, AGI, we were saying and opining that 750 was a breakout. We did like AGI even as early as 550 and $6 ever since the buybacks of Andrew Tan. However, AGI, I would have to caution you that at about 9 and 10, there might be some resistance pressures here. So at 875, if you're chasing, you might be a bit late. If you're really trying to enter this name, try to see if you've got an entry near 8. So not necessarily 8. It could be 830, 820. So try to see if you get entries on AGI if you still want an AGI in your portfolio. I do think that AGI is a reopening theme given that AGI has your mega worlds and so forth. Um, Please explain again the apathy about stocks. Apathy means I do not care. So the thesaurus definition of apathy is being neutral. Nobody cares. Nobody hates it. The state of not caring. So the lack of interest. So the worst thing that the stock can actually do is called apathy. If you ask me, so the worst thing that a person can do to you is actually not care about you. As in, you don't care if they die, you don't care if they go up. It's called apathy. Pure Gold, the first green in days. What is your take on it? In my view, like Pure Gold at about 41 has that buyer talaga. However, do note that Pure Gold will not benefit too much. There will be resistances on the way up. So Pure Gold and Robinson's Retail have been lagging because, of course, the market is so focused on bargain hunting on the reopening themes. There is a rotation going on that defines this 54 to 41 move. However, as we were saying, Pure Gold is very low here at about 41 and 38, such that we would contrarian buy this. So assuming you bought at 41.50 today, or even if you bought at 42, or even as high as 44, I do think that you've got the resistances here at the breakdown of 44.71. That is your first resistance. But if the market will continue going higher, depends eh. The market structure right now is it's going higher based on reopening. So if you think about it, the best move for your money would still be on your if current levels, it would be on SSI and Cebu Pacific. Okay. PHR looks to be a good buy. It's a bit of a speculative reopening play as well. Thank you very much and bye-bye. See you again. Please like the channel, smash the like. And thank you very much. It's November 11th. Bye-bye. Thank you.